So the name of this video is how Antonio Conte's Inter is gonna look.
Ooh.
How we ruined Marco's life.
Strong, within this group is where we all belong. Different color, same game, we all worship.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV. I'm here with a man who can't get his smile off of his face right now. Peter, the Inter fan. Antonio Conte has officially been announced as Inter's coach. The thing that we knew was coming, we just didn't know when it was going to happen. It was announced late last night that Conte will take over Inter, 11 million euros a season, becoming the highest paid coach in Serie A and tied with the highest in history. And I'll let you guess, who do you think is the highest paid coach in history of Serie A?
In Serie A? Whew.
The special.
Mourinho.
Mourinho. The odds of that happening, I don't know what they are. Conte joins. Juventus fans around the world are hurt by it, but Inter fans are rejoicing. How do you feel now that Spalletti is gone and Conte is in?
It's exciting, as an Inter fan. This is something that is pretty much a new chapter in our stride back to not necessarily dominance, but being relevant in Serie A. So Spalletti, I think for the past 2 years, has been a coach that we needed, because it was for a long time that we were out of Champions League, and we needed someone that could give us stability and the ability to get into Champions League, even though both times we waited to the last 10 minutes of the season. So definitely, I think this year had a lot to do with Spalletti's inability to get Inter to Champions League or a higher position earlier than the last 10 minutes of Serie A. Conte, on the other hand, is a guy that I, personally think that he's going to do a fantastic job, because he's somebody that understands Italian football. He's been able to win in Italy, in England, and he demands everything from his players. So I'm excited. I think all Inter fans around the world are excited to see a coach that knows how to win, wants to win, and also is going to be able to attract players, which is very important.
You spoke about Spalletti, and I think a lot more respect should go on Spalletti's name, because of I think that he's always acted as a professional. I think that in the beginning of the season, what you just said is exactly what you said in August. And what we've all said is that Spalletti was never really going to be that guy to win with Inter. He was going to be the guy that gives you stability. And then you were always going to need that next step, whether it was going to be Mourinho, Simeone, or Conte. Were always the names who were around. And there was a story about Spalletti where his brother passed away before the final match, and he hid the news so that nobody would be distracted. And I think Spalletti's always acted like a very professional coach, and he deserves a lot more respect, and I feel like goes around for Spalletti, just to give him his final payoff. As far as Conte, it's absolute madness, and I think that he is the perfect coach for Inter. I don't think anyone on the market could do a better job than Conte does at building and rebuilding teams. It's his bread and butter, taking a team that didn't really do well and then making them win, and immediately, he's got these immediate impacts on teams, especially with not the best players. There's a lot of coaches like Ancelotti or Zidane who are known for getting really good players to play well and work together. And Conte is almost the opposite. With Estigarribia in his starting 11, he won a Scudetto against a Milan who had, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and who was poised to win. And he gets the best out of his players, even if they're not the biggest names, let's say. So there's a lot of we have questions. I have questions, because everyone wants to know how Conte's team is gonna look. Who's going to leave? Who's going to stay? We've got a formation on the screen right now from Gazzetta, where they say that this is a possible 11. What do you think about this team?
I mean, it's definitely a team that's going to compete. I think the most important thing is, especially in Italy, you win championships based on your defense. So I think with Conte there, he's going to put a certain tactical presence for this team to have a high work rate, which is very important. When you have Skriniar, De Vrij, these guys, I think, are probably one of the best couple, the duo in defense in Italy. And then add if it happens. I think it's pretty close. Godin, who also has been able to play with a high-intensity coach like Simeone with Atletico, bring them to 2 Champions League finals, compete for La Liga. So this is a guy that has European experience. Then they show that then it's possible 11. I don't know if you want me to read out the possible 11. So he looks like 3-5-2 with Conte style with Andanovic in net, Skriniar, De Vrij, Godin, Asamoah, Brozovic, Nainggolan, Barella from Cagliari, Chiesa from Fiorentina, Dzeko, Lautaro Martinez. Hey, it looks good, man. I love Barella. I think he's very similar to Nainggolan, where he's good defensively. He can score you 10 goals a season. He has a really strong work rate. He's a smart player. He doesn't do anything to overdo anything.
He's definitely bright.
Yeah, and you want a player like that, and I think under Conte he can really, really prove to be Italy's top midfielder.
Would he solve that midfield problem that we see at Inter right now?
Well, I think with Inter, it's not so much that we have a problem. We have a problem with technical ability. So in a sense, we have Gagliardini, Vecino. These guys are all workhorses, and they're strong physically. But we need that regista-style player. We need that somebody to give some quality. Yeah, give some quality in that midfield. So Brozovic this year has been proven, and in the past 2 years actually, he's been our best midfield as far as technical ability, moving the ball around. But we're still missing that killer midfielder. Hopefully Barella can be that. He's still young, but with Conte, he brings the most out of everyone.
The one guy that we don't see here, Icardi. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the?
Well, Icardi, I think for us, it's still up in the air. I think Conte already knows what he wants. He's gonna sit down with him and he's gonna talk with him. Conte is the type of guy that he wants everybody on board. So everybody, they're gonna have the same heart rate, the same goal. Everyone has to be the soldier in his path. So if there's anybody that strays away, he doesn't want them on that team.
We saw it with Costa at Chelsea. He kicked him out.
So now the interesting thing is, I personally think that Icardi, he does love the team, Inter. He's been one of the biggest fighters for the team, and he's been through not playing in Europe, playing in Champions League. He was the best scorer for us in Champions League in the group stage.
For the past many years.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a top scorer. We know that. Now it's just a matter of, is he willing to take not necessarily a lesser role, but to be equal as everyone else. You're not going to be that captain anymore. You're not going to be that star player anymore. Wanda has to be quiet. There's a lot of things that happen. And I don't know if he's going to stay just for that reason. But his market value is not as high as it once was. Is Inter willing to take a hit in that? We'll see.
Also, Dzeko, they say either Dzeko or Lukaku is the guy for Conte. Mm-hmm. Do you have a preference over the two?
There's two things. Dzeko, unfortunately, has a certain age. Lukaku is a lot younger. And Lukaku, speed-wise, a physical presence. But personally, I like Dzeko more than Lukaku. The reason why is because he's played in Serie A. He knows the league. He's a top goal scorer. He's very technical for his size.
When he's there mentally, he's fantastic.
Exactly. And he'll be able to hold up the ball and everything. Lukaku, on the other hand, he's got this physical presence. He's very fast. He's strong on the ball. But technically, he's weak. I do not see him as this technical player. He'll score you the goals, but everything's going to be sloppy and dirty. But
I think that both Dzeko and Lukaku, they're going to play a similar role to when he was at Juve and he played with Llorente. He always played with Llorente, Tevez, where the guy like Dzeko gets the ball, releases it off to Lautaro, who's a more technical player, and he's just that hold-up play, give and go, and that kind of style. And I think that they probably fit more. I don't know where Icardi would play on this because he sniffs out a goal inside the box, which is not exactly what Conte uses his center forward. If he changes, I don't know, but I'm just saying if we go with the 3-5-2 and we talk about where it is, Dzeko and Lukaku would probably fit the system more. So it'd be interesting to me if Icardi stays or he goes. The rumors are that he's gonna go, but again, like you said, him and Conte, they probably never even met. They don't know how each other work, and if they could figure it out. Yeah. Well, so we'll see about that. My question now, I'm gonna put you on the spot, of course. There's all this talks. If we read the comments on our Instagram, Inter, this is the revival. They're gonna be Serie A champions next season. They could go far in Champions League. They've got the top coach. I saw a comment, look at this Inter team right now versus the Juventus that won the first Scudetto, and this team has a lot more quality, so they'll be able to do it. Where do you think this Inter is going to finish? I know it's an early bet,
I mean,
but how do you feel
we
about
still
it?
have to see with the summer transfers, but I think with Conte, expectations are to compete for the Scudetto. I'm not saying that he's going to win it straight out because Juventus, when he was with Juventus his first year, there was a gap there. Inter were dying out. Milan, they had Ibrahimovic, yes, but they weren't that star power team, and you saw them struggle in the beginning of the year. And Roma looked like the biggest competitor for Juventus. Roma, I think, in the same time, they won 7 straight with Rudi Garcia. But even with that, they didn't have the quality to withstand the whole season. And you saw Juventus, Conte's Juventus that first year really be able to do 10 times what they were expected to do. With that being said, Juventus is not getting any weaker. This Juventus right
Depends
now.
on the coach.
No, this Juventus right now is not getting any weaker. When you have Cristiano Ronaldo, you're expected to win the league. There's other teams now that are still growing. Napoli, even though they haven't really made any big moves in the past years, they're a team with Ancelotti as the head coach. They're gonna fight. So you have 2-3 teams. Milan, if they get a good coach, I'm not saying that they'll be better than Inter, but they should be able to compete. So Inter right now, it's not like it's a easy path to win the Scudetto. That's being said. But with Conte there,
There's hope. It's not like
his objective is to compete for the Scudetto.
I think last year our predictions when we watched them back, I said it's going to be a tight race between Juventus and Inter. You said Inter's going to win. Antonio said they're going to win the triplete. I think maybe we were a year too late on this in the sense that we didn't have Conte in charge of Inter, where Conte at Inter, like you said, the Juventus was performing 10 times greater. When he took over Chelsea, I think that team finished 7th or 8th place the year before that he won. Essentially the same guys. He won the league and the Premier League, and we know the Premier League is so difficult, and he won it against Klopp and Guardiola and all these guys, and maybe it was their first or second year, but it was also his first year, and they also spent a lot more money, but I think a lot of factors will be taken into account. As a Juventus fan, of course, I feel bitter, to say the least. All Michael's been doing is been messing with me, sending me pictures and videos of Conte in Inter. Juventus fans want to get rid of his star at the Juventus Stadium. But I think we'll save it for the next podcast because we got to talk about Gattuso, we got to talk Spalletti, we got to talk about Conte. There's a few questions that I want to end with. Raul says, how long will it take for the Inter fans to accept Conte, particularly the Curva Nord, who already released a statement where they didn't agree on appointing Conte?
Yeah, I read the statement. I think right now, especially some Inter fans, they feel a little bitter about the Conte signing because of his past with Juventus, being the captain of the Juventus team in the May 5th when they won the Scudetto, the last day, and Inter ended up losing.
Who won the Scudetto?
I'm sorry?
Who won the Scudetto May 5th?
May 5th, it was Juventus,
okay.
2002. This guy. And the point is, so his Juventus past definitely doesn't fit well with the Curva Nord, but they said, in the statement, they pretty much said, you have to buy into the Inter's mentality and that winning isn't everything. Winning isn't everything. The real thing is respect. and buying into the Inter mentality. Well, we respect.
He's talking to Michael.
I'm telling you, yeah, because listen, we're not like Juventus that we get rid of our legends and we just throw them under the rug with Del Piero, with Buffon.
I know, you just go into the trash of Juventus and you pick up Conte, Marotta,
Zanetti was treated like a gentleman, like with class, and that's Inter. So I mean, once Conte starts winning, watch how fast the Curva Nord are gonna appreciate him. So that's what it is. It's all based on what you do with the team. Soccer and football, everybody is supposed to have a short memory.
Yeah.
You can be the greatest of players. If you have 10 games where you suck, no one wants you anymore.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I think once he starts winning and Conte guarantees you winning, he's a winner. I think that everyone will forget about that and 100%. No one will really care. Last question from Intisar. He says, as an Inter fan, which potential Juve coach worries you the most between Sarri, Guardiola, and Pochettino? Considering that Conte is at Inter and they'll try to fight for something.
It has to be Guardiola. Come on. He is the best one out of those three. And possibly one of the best in the whole world. He's a guy that's going to be able to change Juventus drastically. They have the players. He's top.
I feel a little bit down right now, like I'm in a nightmare. So I'm hoping that I get woken up from the nightmare
Guardiola?
with a little pep talk, just a little pep talk. So hopefully it happens. And I think Guardiola, Sarri, also, you will probably take a step back, though. If you get Sarri, I feel like Juventus is going to take time to be able to learn that you also need to get the ball-playing midfielders that Juventus don't have, but Guardiola too. So we'll see what happens by the end of the season, which team is there, the philosophies are there. Guys, this week we're going to have a podcast with Antonio, because I know Antonio's already riled up. His best friend, Simone Inzaghi, might become the coach of Milan, and he's not the happiest, to say the least. Guys, I want to remind you, we still have a sale just for the last day, ItalianFootballTV.com on select items site-wide. So go on there if you want to get a culture tee or anything else that we have. As always, remember to subscribe and comment below and follow us on our social medias. Peter,
thank you, guys.
It's a good day for you.
Yes,
a little early birthday present for you and Michael.
Really early.
Bitter for me, but it is what it is. We'll let you guys win this time.
Hey, listen, we'll take that.
Good luck. All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
That's how we do.
Oh, he said no more Pazza Inter. He said no more Pazza Inter, he said.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah, he
like,
said
now
no
it's
more
like, gonna be
Pazza.
crazy. They're like, now we're going to win no more craziness.